So hello back, fellow human beings, and took a long time to come up with this update again. I plan to do 52 updates this year, so I have to catch up. But as you can hear with regard to my voice, I'm still a little bit sick and there was more work on my book. And I started a new podcast. You can go to my website, normanschulz.net, and then you can here go to the little corner. Let me make it a bit bigger. You can go here to podcast. You click it. This is a single episode, but you can also see all of them. And then you see the archives. And you see here the first episode, James Baldwin and the American Identity. Now, don't expect everyone to be interested in that podcast, but it was, to my mind, a very interesting conversation with Ken Ivory, who is a teacher for economics here in China, and he has a very interesting perspective on
As time
history.
goes on, I think he will get more fame because of the topics that he covers. Most of the topics are very current to the race and social issues we're facing today.
I mean, to be honest, he was.
So this is the topic, right? And it's, of course, about identity and gender and how to define your place in history and how to develop a real relationship to love. I think it was an interesting conversation that everybody should listen to. We should be aware of the different issues that are problems in our societies to become a better identity. But if you're interested, listen into the series. This is just the first part. We recorded about 10 parts, and I will post all of them in the next weeks on this channel. And I haven't figured that out yet, but I hope that I can split this YouTube channel into different sub-channels. I don't really know how that works. Most interesting book of James Baldwin is Another Country. And I just want to read two quotes, two citations from that book to just show you that it's an interesting topic. So, people don't have any mercy. They tear you limb from limb in the name of love. Then, when you're dead, when they've killed you by what they made you go through, they say you didn't have any character. They weep big, bitter tears, not for you, for themselves, because they've lost their toy. And yeah, I think that basically describes a certain kind of narcissism that many people have. Not that it is a mental disease necessarily, but certain assets of narcissism. We shouldn't diagnose everyone with narcissism. But yeah, it discusses the relationship that we have to love and how we basically most of the time mediate love through ourselves and thus don't achieve true love, and thereby probably are also not capable of receiving true love. And then another aspect, so there are so many topics in this book and that makes it so interesting. We all commit our crimes. The thing is not to lie about them, to try to understand what you have done, why you have done it. That way you can begin to forgive yourself. That's very important. If you don't forgive yourself, you'll never be able to forgive anybody else. And you go on committing the same crimes forever. So yeah, it speaks here about the fact that we are all no angels, right? But I think an important factor is societal here. I'm also a proponent of the art of committing. But committing would be much easier if our society wouldn't be so focused on punishment. Punishment is something that I believe keeps our society from developing. However, as I said already, you can find all of these topics in this podcast or on YouTube. I think I forgot to say that. On YouTube, I will post smaller snippets. On the podcast, you can listen to the whole episodes at once. And yeah, it took me a little time to set up this podcast and to self-host it on my website, but I'm sure soon you will also be able to find it on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and Spotify and so on and so forth. Just a little side note here. Many people wonder, okay, how can I start a podcast? And maybe starting a podcast, except from hosting, is very easy. You just need a microphone and a cell phone. And the cell phone that I would recommend for that is indeed the Boya M1DM. And I had my problems with that at the beginning because it had a loud background noise. But it seems I have done something wrong, because now it works. And I think it has a good quality, and I believe it just costs $20 or $30. And then you can start your own podcast. You just need a solution for hosting it. Yeah, and I also want to give a small tour through my own little studio here. So I recorded this video for here, and I will keep silent and listen to myself talking in that video. So I want to give a brief run through my apartment in China. This is the balcony, and now I have here a room with a piano that does not work so well. Well, I realized that I have forgotten my ear plug-in, like, how do you call it, earplug? So my headphones. So I should actually explain it to you. So this is my studio. This is one room. You see here the lights that I've bought. I have like multiple monitors. Really, if you want to work productively, you need at least 2 monitors. And if you want to be really productive, you need 3. I cannot understand. It's not as bad as people having no mouse, but it's important if you ask me. Yeah, so this is my room where I just have everything set up and I can just start recording. That's the way I want it, right? And then you see my living room here with a big TV. Big TVs are important. And yeah, there are many things that I could tell you. My bedroom. And as you can see, this is an apartment in China, standard apartment in China. Not very modern, but then cheap. And hey, in winter it's warm, so I'm pretty happy with it. You saw the washing machine right in the way. This is the hallway. And then you have another like dining room, I guess. I don't use it for that, with a refrigerator and a dirty kitchen. Every apartment needs a dirty kitchen. And all these dirty utensils, they came already with a kitchen. Isn't that great? Yeah, so that's a basic run through my apartment. I don't use the kitchen, to be honest. I found some other solutions. I usually order food, but now I also have a steamer for my table in the living room, and I just steam chicken legs every day, and then I throw in there some onions. And yeah, here you see again the room in which I'm recording right now with the green screen and so on, and then I use OBS. So I hope you enjoyed this little tour. If you're interested in any of the items that I use, then let me know in the comments. Now, here's a recommendation for the day. It's the video streamer Atomic Shrimp. And you can find interesting videos where he talks about scammers. That's very interesting. And where he basically scams scammers. These are probably some of his most successful videos. But then what I also liked this year is £2 for 2 days, 6 meals, day 1, day 2. But he also had £1 one day, and then he has 5 days, £5. And what he can make with only £5, that's an interesting challenge. So I will link this £2 challenge down in the comments.
It's time once again for a limited budget food challenge, and the budget.
It's not the best. It's not the best quality, but he's effective. He's effective. Okay, I don't want to let them speak right now because the quality is not so good. And yeah, then the other issue is, let's come to the big issue. Where should you invest your money? And I don't say anything. It's just my opinion, right? So don't follow me. But Bitcoin may have a revival, especially since a lot of these major coin companies have booked commercials for the Super Bowl. So you might wake up on Monday and your Bitcoin went up. The only thing that is inhibiting that right now is the inflation and the potential conflict in Russia. So nobody knows, but many say Bitcoin is dead. but maybe it's not that yet. Maybe people are just waiting for the next explosion. And that's also true for Facebook, right? I mean, Facebook went indeed 40% down. And I don't know why this is so big here. I guess he has a, like, why is the screen so big? I don't know.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah, okay. So, and he has just analyzed the stock. I will also link that. It's a deep analysis of the Facebook stock right now. Probably it's still a good investment, according to his opinion. Again, no recommendation for buying, but it may be a good buy right now. So I bought some Facebook stocks, again, Meta, and it may just crash as all the stocks crash that I usually buy. But I also have time. I'm still young, right? And I hope you're also still young. If not, then enjoy the day the more. Live long. Think more about James Baldwin. Read James Baldwin, and then hopefully you prosper. Bye-bye.